Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the weekly love reading. I think it's going to be pretty exciting as weeks in love and life go. It is 6:07 p.m. on the 4th, Sunday, June 4th. Today, Sunday, June 4th, is the feast day of the Pentecost. The feast day of the Pentecost is all about, in Christian religions, the Holy Spirit having descended upon the disciples of Jesus around 10 days following the ascension of Jesus himself back to heaven. In the life of Jews and Jewish tradition, it is related to the feast day of Shavuot, which is a celebration of the Feast of Weeks and a celebration that culminates. This year, it's between June 11th and the 13th, but the original one coincides and is related to the Feast of the Pentecost and the Feast of Weeks. This year, again, it's June 11th through the 13th, and it is the culmination of the celebration of God having given the Torah to the Jewish people by way of Moses on Mount Sinai. So all of that being celebrated today in parts of the world. And again, next week, like I said, the 11th through the 13th. Also, what else? In the world of astronomy, there's a lot going on with the planets, which you guys can hear in the general reading. I went over all of that. In the world of astrology, Venus enters Taurus. So it's like Venus coming home, entering one of the signs that she rules, and sitting there for the rest of the month, I believe, leaving Aries finally. Also Mercury, also on the 6th, although some articles, astronomy magazine, things that I get, I saw the 7th also. So, maybe it sort of goes overnight, 24 hours. Mercury enters Gemini. So it comes home. So that's communication coming from Mercury in its home sign. That's love and money coming from Venus in her home sign. So I think that's reason to be excited. In addition to, again, what's going on in the sky in the world of astronomy. That's astrology. Also later in the week on astrology, we've got Jupiter going direct on the 9th. And we've got the honey moon, the full moon in Sagittarius, also on the 9th. And that may be it. I'm thinking also there's something going on with Jupiter on the 10th, probably coming off of that moon, which again begins on the 9th, although we'll be able to see it beginning on the 8th. All of that. And then in the, getting back to the spiritual world and perhaps the religious world, although I don't subscribe to any religion, but we've, come to coin it. This week, not only is today the Feast of the Pentecost and Shavuot, but tomorrow is the Feast of Mary, the Mother of the Church, which is celebrated all over the world as well. I think particularly in places like Latin countries and Poland, I believe, if I remember correctly. I'll go over that with the reading that I do for Monday, since it is for Monday. And Thursday, so the day preceding the full moon, the day on which we'll begin to see the full moon, is the Feast of Jesus Christ, the Eternal High Priest, celebrated by Christians all over the world. So super, super high energy. Also, I heard a lot of love songs earlier. Not trying to, not even myself listening to the radio, just accidental hearing of songs like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. If you feel like loving me, if you got the notion, I second that emotion. I'm not sure, but maybe that's the name of the song may be Emotion. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. Also, DeBarge, Love Me in a Special Way. Beautiful, beautiful song. If you've never heard it, you should take a listen. And, there was another one that really stood out. And I felt the energy of those, like for the collective of those in separation. Oh, the Jackson 5. I'm glad I talked myself through that. The Jackson 5, I Want to Be Where You Are. Can It Be I Stayed Away Too Long? Did I leave your mind when I was gone? And right when I sat down to do this reading, I heard, so I did look this one up because the words, I mean, it just hit me. And again, I wasn't even like trying to listen to the radio, just music coming from everywhere that I couldn't avoid. Earth, wind, and fire, fantasy. Every man has a place. In his heart, there's a space. And the world can't erase his fantasies. Take a ride in the sky on our ship. Fantasize. All your dreams will come true right away. This is about the manifestation. And I think that this is a week about answered prayer in many ways, and also judgment. That also comes up, both of those things in the General Weekly. And we will live together until the 12th of never. So this is for all eternity. The 12th of never is never coming. Our voices will ring forever as one. This is about the collective of light. Every thought is a dream. This is about manifestation of thoughts. We begin with the number 1. That's where we get the idea. That's where we speak it. By 2, we have number 2. We're having faith that it's going to come true. By number 3, manifestation. By 4, we've laid foundations. Every thought is a dream, rushing by in a stream, bringing to life to the kingdom of doing. So that talks about what I just described, like starting with a thought and then actually putting something into action and having faith that it's going to come to pass and work out. Take a ride in the sky on our ship. Fantasize. All your dreams will come true miles away. This is about everything happening first above or otherworldly in another dimension before we get to see it here, or everything happening again, beginning with a thought first and before it's something tangible that we can see, touch, feel, smell. Our voices will ring together until the 12th of never. We all will live and love forever as one. Come to see victory in a land called fantasy. Loving life, a new degree. This is new heights, elevation, ascension. Bring your mind to everlasting liberty. This is freedom. As one, come to see victory in a land called fantasy. Loving life for you and me to behold to your soul is ecstasy. You will find other kind. This could be ETs, extraterrestrial, other beings like yourself, unlike yourself. You will find other kind that has been in search of you. Many lives has brought you to recognize it's your life now in review. This is the judgment of the collective and of us as individuals. As you stay for the play, I've said many times life is a play, like we're all actors living out roles. And that's why so many of our lives are like not only interconnected, but almost exact with, but for just a few nuances is the difference. That's why when I post the client readings, I do that because people can relate to them. Many are going through the same exact thing, but for a slight nuance that makes it unique to us. As you stay for the play, fantasy has in store for you. A glowing light will see you through. This glowing light, from above the heavens, perhaps the Holy Spirit itself, which again descends upon us or has descended upon us today, with this being the Feast of the Pentecost. It's your day. Shining day, all your dreams come true as you glide in your stride with the wind as you fly. Give a smile from your lips and say, I'm free. Yes, I'm free. Now I'm on my way. This week, I think also continues to be about cutting away what doesn't serve, breaking the chains that bind, cutting the cords that bind, death to these things. A la Scorpio, slice them up, a la Queenofswords. Come to see victory in a land called fantasy. Loving life for you and me to behold. To your soul is ecstasy. You will find other kind that has been in search of you. Many lives has brought you to recognize it's your life now in review. And with that, I'm going to begin with the cross. Starting with the universal heart, which again is celebrated this week on the 8th. Jesus Christ, the eternal high priest. Opening to dreams, maybe fantasies, of which I just spoke with that song, that beautiful song by Earth, Wind, and Fire, for which I will attempt to remember to post the link on the video. Universal heart back. Opening to reflection and Mother Mary, who also is celebrated this week. And now we have Mary opposite Jesus as well. Again, Mary tomorrow. Mary, Queen of the Church. Universal heart back. Opening to tantric union, all about that 5D life they were talking about in that song. Universal heart back. I'll go one more, and it's inner child. For some of us still in disrepair. A lot of the cord cutting and death to things that no longer serve us is for and because of this child. This child also opposite the Christ here, maybe representing the sun child. Although she's covered in stars, not the sun. Universal heart back. I'm going to cut. Abundance. Here comes Venus. Here comes Venus. Again, entering Taurus on the 6th, delivering on her promises. And the overall energy is eternal flame. This, my copyrighted cross spread without the modifications, although I will include those placements as well. This is the cross by itself. The feminine with regard to herself in relation to the union. Trilogy of light. Here we are. Here's our partner. Here's the universe. Or maybe here we are. Here's our partner and here's the universe. But the object is we are individuals here trying to be part of a collective, trying to first ourselves as individuals, achieve as best we can that Christ consciousness. Christ means anointed. That's all it means. So Jesus Christ, his name wasn't Christ. He was Jesus of Nazareth, who was the Christ, who was Christed. He was anointed. Okay, that's what we're trying to do, to continue to grow more and more like him, and closer to the light, reaching this trilogy of light, which can also be seen as a trinity of light. At least for me, I see it that way too. And this is how the feminine is feeling about herself. So very confident in the journey and very focused on achieving that light. The masculine with regard to the feminine, earth connection, Gaia herself maybe, or perhaps Venus. Again, this is about abundance in many ways. So Venus is the goddess of abundance, money, material, love. We have to reconnect to her, remain connected to her. For some of us, this is more literal, getting outside, putting your feet in some soil, in some grass, seeing the sun, go take a look at the moon, later in the week. All of these things. If you have a telescope, binoculars, you may want to check out some of the constellations and other things going on in the sky. Saturn visible this week, Jupiter. I forgot what else I said during the weekly general, but you can look it up there, or listen to it there, or you can look it up at astronomy.com or anywhere else you feel comfortable. But there was a lot going on in the sky and in the earth, on the earth, for us to be willing participants in reconnecting. The masculine with relation to himself. Divine guidance. He is plugged into this infinite energy that goes on to the 12th of never. Okay, this is going to continue forever. He has this 8 at his will. Abundance, justice for him. Also, the moon, I think, is significant. It signifies the feminine energy that comes with the moon. And all of this infinite, that this energy, even when we don't see the moon in her full glory like this, is always available to us until the 12th of never. We have this justice and abundance and strength at our avail, to our avail whenever we need it. Just calling upon her, going out and connecting with the earth. And looking up. The masculine's feelings with relation to the union. Boom. Moon tree. Not just here, I don't think, because it's the same colors as the divine union card, divine guidance card. And because they both have the moon, but because of the moon also, just not only because of that. Moon tree is about sacred marriage. The sacred marriage between heaven and earth, and the sacred marriage between two sacred beings. And this signifies being on the same page. This is the masculine seeing himself as part of this Trinity. The same way you do. Same way you see him as part of it, and you see yourself as part of it with the universe as the other piece. He sees the same. He sees himself as the sacred husband that is part of a sacred marriage. He sees you as his sacred wife. The two of you under the universe. For all eternity, until the 12th of never. Overall, blessings from the Queen of the church. And by church, I mean what I think Earth, Wind, and Fire we're talking about. Not an institution, not a building, but a collective voice, a collective group of people all aspiring toward the same thing, trying to move closer and closer to the light. Living and loving together as one. Our voices will ring together until the 12th of never as one. That's the blessing that's being bestowed upon us by not only Mother Mary, but the Holy Spirit descending upon us, the stars, the planets, everything aligning. That's the blessings of which she speaks. And not a mistake that it crosses the divine guidance. This infinite love and direction that comes from the universe. That sacred beings and sacred marriages on which they can draw. The outcome. Enchantment. Going into that full surrender that the moon provides and allowing the universe to heal us and to help us to achieve this closeness with it. To help us to continue to move closer and closer and grow closer and closer and stronger, and more focused. Allowing it to flow through us completely and change our DNA, repair it. That's the outcome. Forever. Wow. And to this end, right? This is the reason. This is the purpose. Eternal flame. How awesome a week is this going to be? Going to the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue, beginning with True Love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And opening to Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. True Love. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. True Love. And love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I got to tell you, as I was shuffling, I saw quite a bit of separation, and I don't think that it was for us. I opened to separation maybe 3 times, which is a lot, you know, to keep and then opening the cards again and being on the same card. That's a lot. I don't think it was for these true love situations, those sacred marriages about which we were just, you know, learning. I think it's about the people, places, and things from which we're going to separate ourselves with that energy of death that comes with Scorpio and cutting away cords that comes with Gemini. And the overall energy is new love. New love. I almost pulled 2, but I put it back, so I guess we weren't meant to have the 2. Also, I just remembered, this week takes us into, of course, next week, but next week beginning on Sunday, June 11th, is the Feast of the Holy Trinity. And that may have something to do with the way the feminine is feeling this week about herself as well. All right. Children, masculine, your love life is being affected by children. This can be your children. This can be her children. This can be children you have together. This can be children you'll have in the future that you're thinking about, planning for, whether there's a pregnancy at present or not. You know, you're looking forward to coming back off of that 10 of fire card and wanting to be the provider. You know, you're planning ahead like a knight of earth, maybe, which is with what we ended on the general reading, actually. Surrounded by romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Actually, you're probably like, what was I talking about with the 10 of fire? The 10 of fire is from the general reading too. Yeah, the masculine not wanting to be a burden or upon the feminine, or for her to be burdened in any way. You know, he wanted to sort of alleviate all of that for her. And maybe that's the red flags. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So you guys are going to have to watch the general. Feminine, nice. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. I told you I didn't think that separation that turned up as I was shuffling, I didn't think that was for us. I think that's separation from the people, places, and things of which we're cutting away and or, you know, they've died. Also, I've been saying for months, that the honeymoon was going to be a huge time of, even for those that are already, you know, together in some capacity, one way or another, in the 3D, that it was going to be a huge coming together under that honeymoon and with Jupiter turning direct. So literally like our luck changing, right? The wheel constantly changing, with the planets constantly turning, the wheel constantly turning, Jupiter having been going backwards in a while. So the wheel turning counterclockwise, you know, against us maybe, not in our favor, not in our fortune, and now going direct yet again. So moving forward yet again toward the positive. I saw that as a time at which definitely there was going to be a lot of coming together in love. And there it is this week. The feminine is surrounded by honeymoon. What I say? Under the honeymoon, the reconciliation happens. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. In the feminine subconscious, release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. This can be a physical ex, somebody with whom we need to cut cords, whether they're in your past or in your present. Some of us still linked to these people, not necessarily in an intimate way, but in a physical way. And the need to cut cords there. The time has come to clear your energy. For others, this can be a capital X, not an EX, but a capital X, as in the X that's formed by King Osiris's crook and flail over his chest. He puts them in the shape of an X. Or as in the X on which St. Andrew was put to death. He said, I'm not worthy of a cross. Put me on an X. That was his X. That was his stepping forward on the world. And, you know, like, this is me, take it or leave it. If I have to be persecuted for it, so be it. Some of us need to do that too. Crowning. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And this coming into play, sitting here next to the reconciliation. Some of us having been waiting for that reconciliation for some time. Some people in separation for a while. Others, again, connected in the 3D in some sense, but not the way even close to the way they'd hope or they'd like. So all of that worth waiting for. The energy changing with Jupiter going direct, with the honeymoon, with all of these things happening in the spiritual realm, with Mary, with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit, with all these things happening in the, in astronomy, with the planets aligning in a certain way. Some of these things happening for the first time ever, some happening for the first time in years. And then what we have going on, in astrology as well this week. Just a lot in every area that sort of governs our lives. Here at the root, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Well, I just named a whole bunch of our friends. Jesus and Mary and the planets and the stars, the zodiac signs, what they're doing. Those are our friends. We can also call upon actual friends here in the 3D, with whom we still feel connected on levels that, we feel like we can trust them and they can trust us. And, we've already had that point in our relationship where we've come to the crossroad and faced the judgment. And what are we going to do? We're going to continue to roll tight. You've got some people like that. Certainly call on them. The angels. If you don't, have any people like that, or you do, but you want something a little bit more etheric or a higher vibration than yourself, and you can't seem to find that anywhere around you, the angels, God, the universe, the stars, the planets. At the heart of the matter, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other, which also becomes easier this week on the 6th or 7th when Mercury enters Gemini, the great communicator of the zodiac. The Mercury, the ruling planet, and the planet of communication, enters the great communicator of the zodiac. What might we want to clarify? We've got a card up right here. How about pay attention to the red flags? Boom. Maybe the red flag is a 2 of fire, or maybe it's the Knight of Fire, which again comes through with Jupiter. The full moon, the full honeymoon is in Sagittarius. That's your Knight of Fire or Page of Fire, providing you with an opportunity. Could be your King of Fire, representing the divine masculine and representing, Jupiter itself. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. The sacred marriage that we just saw in the other spread. The next card is upside down, but I'll look for another one. Okay, this one. How about for release your ex? So that you can make this happen. Yeah, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate with whom you're reuniting, to whom you are married. So you got to release this other person. And children. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So I think here, at least in connection to this card, the clarifier, this is a metaphor, this children. It's like the birth of the new love. that is our overall energy. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings, or your old person renewed. And it's the birth of all of that, this new love. When I picked up the new love, also behind it, upright, you deserve love. You are lovable with this very Cupid-like or Sagittarian-like goddess on the front. Upside down behind that is free yourself. So that's still close by for some of us who have not yet cut those cords. With that, advice. And in another room, I don't know if you can hear it, Computer Love just started playing. There was no music prior, then all of a sudden Computer Love is on. So maybe some Aquarian energy surrounding us as well, with the Queen of Air being so very present this week. Lady Venus is with whom I'm going to start quite appropriately, because again, she enters Taurus this week. She one of her home planets. She is also the esoteric ruler of Gemini. So no way, no matter how you look at it, she belongs here this week. Downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Isn't that what I was just saying about all the stuff that's going on with Jesus and Mary and the stars and the planets? And yeah, the heaven and the astral realm is from where we're getting all of these blessings. Opening to Green Tara, supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. What did I say? Cords being cut this week. It's more of that. Amen. Move beyond limitation. Free yourself. If you trust, you can do this. And as I was shuffling before, when I came to the Venus, first of all, I opened right to Venus. And then she was opposite Radya and Soul Flame. I said, ooh, this is getting good. And then next it was Mary, which I thought was very appropriate because again, tomorrow is a celebration of Mary. And then I think Ganesha, Lord Ganesha and abundance. So that's appropriate too. And that's very connected to Venus. Opening now to Serapis Bay and Ascension. Move into your true self. Release your X, capital X. Rise above the darkness. The light is here. So not unlike that first spread where I said the feminine trying to move closer and closer to the light, to the universe. Lady Venus back. And White Eagle, ancestor spirit. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. For some of us, I'm feeling this has to do with the fact that we are Palladian. And I've never said this with this card before, but Native Americans, Africans, Latinos, very heavily, more so than, others, Palladian. You can look that up. And that just came from this card. Opening to the Shekinah and sacred self. Unleash your spirit. Express your gifts. Dance to the sacred rhythm of life. And why did it go back? I'm going to cut. And maybe that coming up with the Palladian today, and for this week, because Venus is entering Taurus. Taurus, which is where the Pleiades lie. Taurus, the bull, or perhaps the Minotaur of Thoth, the father of the Pleiades. His 5 daughters make up the Pleiades, and from where Palladians come. So that could be why this is a week, particularly for you to get in touch with your inner X and then release it upon people. This is what I am. And that's it. It's like a coming out. Coming to Green Tara and Supreme Protection. She was with us a few moments ago. She is back to remind us that we are protected and that cords are being cut. We need to move beyond limitation and just trust in the universe this week. Overall energy is light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. And lastly, from my Egyptian oracle, beginning with the Queen of Hearts, which is this very goddess-like female and feminine energy, I'm presuming, staring at a picture, a photo, a drawing or something, some sort of illustration of what appears to be her divine masculine. And I would imagine so, with her being the Queen of Hearts. This is a card about love. And opening to the 10 of Clubs with this very tired lion, sleeping lion. And that's what it is. That's what the card is about. You know, it's about peace, even from something so large, you know, sort of larger than life and brave and courageous and maybe at times scary. Peace even existing for him and with him, for even us smaller, lesser, you know, strong and resilient creatures, you know, and the fact that we can come together in a harmonious way, but maybe not always. Maybe we won't always have those opportunities. So when we do, we should certainly take advantage of them and come together whenever we can in a place of peace. That's what this card is about. Also maybe representing for us this week, Sekhmet, and I also mentioned Ra in the general reading, and the butterfly transformation, metamorphosis, Scorpio, and King Osiris. Death and rebirth. Opening now to the Jack of Clubs, which is this servant, you know, man servant type gentleman, genuflecting, bowing before his master. This card asks, what master do you serve? Is it yourself or is it someone else? Because we should be living and loving for us, not for other people. And if we find that we are, those are the people or situations, circumstances that we need to cut away. Jack of Clubs back. I'm going to cut. And now playing on the radio, because the music has continued, is I Want to Get Next to You, I think by the Temptations. Coming to the King of Diamonds, which is like the King of Earth, the King of Coins, King of Pentacles, this very regal looking merchant. He looks respected, right? Well respected. He's literally waiting for his ship to come in because it will come in. He's the King of Diamonds after all. And this is the energy of this week. Abundance, 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 and more abundance in all areas. Finances, material things, and love. And guess what the overall energy is? The Queen of Hearts. Yes, she's back. Okay, I'm going to start with the masculine from underneath with the romance card so that I can actually read these two. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. This is the lighthearted energy of Gemini, of Sagittarius. Not unlike the lighthearted energy of Virgo and Pisces, that youthful, some might say immature, but flirty. You know, like that sort of fearless innocence, like let's just go for it and be happy sort of energy. That's how you're going to approach not just the week, but your situations, these heart-to-heart conversations, these reconciliations, these romantic feelings, and even the cutting away of some people, places, and things. As compassionate as we can about doing that. Romance angels to the feminine. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So we don't just sit and wait necessarily for the masculine. If you feel moved to call, to text, to email, to whatever, whatever you feel moved, guided to do by the universe, you are expected to do that, to release your ex. That's what you got to do. You got to put in the effort too. And effort is rewarded. Masculine, message from afar, receiving a lot downloads as part of that ascension for you this week from the universe. Also, you may receive contact from someone long distance on this physical 3D plane is what's coming to me now. Feminine, the universal heart. How appropriate is this for this week when we are celebrating Jesus, the eternal high priest, on Thursday. And we celebrate him in one capacity or another every day, or at least I try to. And also, again, this is bringing us into the end of the week where we'll be celebrating him yet again on Sunday as part of the Trinity, the Feast of the Holy Trinity. He is also the quintessential divine masculine of all time. All time. Here with us, blessing us this week, helping us move toward these reconciliations. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. I think this is connected to the people, places, and things with which you no longer align, masculine. Do what you know is the appropriate thing, not just in general, but for you and for everybody in the situation. Is how these things tend to turn out. Best for everyone involved, including our children. Even if it means we have children with someone from whom we're separating and with whom we're cutting ties. Children are not dumb. Children are not blind. Children want to live someplace where the energy is healthy and positive too. And they can feel when it's not. They know when things aren't right. We do them a disservice when we try to force something that's not working to work. And we do ourselves and them and everyone involved and impacted a great compassionate service of unconditional love when we cease to do that. Keepers of the light to the feminine. Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anyone stop you. I hope that you guys enjoy the weekly reading. Oh, nope. I'm moving too fast. The last cards, the Two of Diamonds from the Egyptian Oracle to the masculine. It looks like there's an important message he needs to deliver. Looking forward to reading that one. And for the feminine from the Egyptian Oracle, the King of Spades. It looks like awakening, a card of awakening, using the energy that the universe bestows upon us to do so. Maybe calling upon it for support, for help. Let's see. Priest, sacred rites, rigor, balance, and a moral reason. Contrasts are smoothed by kindness or by strong, wise, and most likely a disinterested intermediary. This is about what I was talking about before. Exercising as much compassion as we can in all that we do, but with these separations from things that don't align with us anymore too. Discussions are useful, but quarrels create distance. So like fighting and arguing doesn't help and isn't necessary. Be the butterfly and the lion. A wise person, a person of law or great intelligence may come your way. Maybe a king of spades, a king of air, maybe Mercury. Avoid the temptation to blindly follow authority or faith. Release your ex. Live for you, love for you. Advice. The advice in this case is the opposite of the 51st card, the Queen of Spades, who is our enemy. Ooh. Think of someone wiser and more balanced than you. If you cannot think of someone within a few seconds, you are really in trouble. For there is always someone who at some point during the day helps us selflessly and manages to attend to us with efficacy. Efficacy. Why can't I say this word today? Efficacy. Yes. And means basically, again, with compassion and insight and, unconditional love, basically. This is like 6 of Pentacles kind of talk. And lastly, the 2 of Diamonds. I need that Mercurian energy so I can speak. The 2 of Diamonds, message, roll of papyrus, positive news and messages, meetings with people you know and people you don't. Such contacts will be good and the development's positive if you communicate with clarity and sincerity from the start without ulterior motives. So more of this unconditional, selfless, sort of action. The consequences of calculating behavior in your relations will be suspicion and the estrangement of good relations. So if somebody believes that you're trying to pull a fast one on them, pull the wool over their eyes, they're going to be hip to you and it's not going to work out in your favor. This is a week of karma, of Jupiter. And he's watching. Advice. There are people who are frightened by news, especially unexpected news. The cards advise you quite simply to wait with joy for every bit of news without wishing like a child for it to always be good news. Messages listened to in this spirit will always have a positive side. Now, I hope that you guys enjoyed the weekly love reading. Namaste, angels.